Hey guys, my name is Brandon and welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you like what you see in here, you're more than welcome to hit the subscribe button so you stay notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, let's get straight on with today's video. Hey everyone and welcome back to Is That More Brandon. So in today's review I'm going to be reviewing the 8th episode of the Traitors 2024 Series 3. It's getting a lot now, okay? So we've just found out that Mina has wanted to try and recruit Charlotte to be a traitor. They obviously tried this the first time with Anna. Anna very clearly said no. And yeah, we basically found out that Charlotte was coming down the steps. Mina was obviously standing there with her cape. And they were having their face-to-face chat. As soon as Mina revealed her cape, she smiled straight at Charlotte. And Charlotte was like, oh no, like what's going to happen now? And Mina basically offered her an ultimatum. So unlike with a seducing where it's a would you like to join me, yes, no, this was literally a join me, and if you don't want to join me as a traitor, I'm going to murder you this evening. And Mina basically explained that her reasons for asking Charlotte is that there already seems to be a lot of heat on her and she's already proved herself as a faithful, having got past that part. So kind of having her on side as a traitor, it would be easy to kind of build the trust of the faithful and obviously get them out of the game one by one, whether by banishment or murder. And Charlotte explained that it was a shock that it was just Mina left as a traitor, and the fact that, you know, Armani's gone, now Linda's gone, and she was turned on by Mina, and they also tried to seduce Anna, and Anna said no. So she said that she kind of has to accept the invitation and join the dark side, with Mina saying, let's go and have some fun, and that they basically had to go and murder that evening. So Charlotte was like, oh my goodness, like we're already in the game. Charlotte said to her that we could go very far in this game, and they won't suspect a recruitment will have been done when it gets to breakfast time, because obviously someone will have been murdered, so they won't have thought, hang on, recruitment and murder on the same night. Charlotte said potentially Lisa has already said that she's been kept as dead weight, and she doesn't really know why she's here, so she could potentially be an easy murder. She also said potentially Anna, with Mina saying that Anna actually serves a purpose now to obviously get rid of Anna, because now she's starting to become a little bit more detective-like. And Charlotte also said potentially Jake, especially having now completed his Linda hunt. Is he going to be good enough to try and find another traitor? They need to get him before he gets them. And Mina said, yeah, Jake already said that he would be dead tomorrow anyway. And they basically decided it was either going to be Jake, Lisa or Anna who was going to be the next person they were going to murder. And Charlotte said to the camera that she also has to be careful, just in case Mina decides to do some sort of double crossing. She needs to get Mina before Mina gets Charlotte. So that'll be quite interesting to see who actually catches who first. I don't think they're both going to get to the final, but it depends whether Mina is strong enough to get rid of Charlotte, or whether Charlotte's kind of like, actually, I'm going to think even further ahead than Mina and get her out under her nose. Joe said that the numbers at breakfast seem to be decreasing, but people's suspicion on other people are increasing. Leanne basically said that there was a lot of heat on her yesterday, and Joe said he's not sure if it was an ultimatum that was offered to somebody yesterday, that they join as a traitor or they're murdered. Mina explained that the middle row looked nice and clean on the board of people, and it was her first day with her new sister as a traitor. Leon said to Alexander, who do you think is going to be banished, or who would you want to be banished? And I think they said Lisa. Leanne had a conversation with Joe saying that Leon isn't really close to her anymore and is kind of not really talking to her. And Charlotte explained that she, as one of the traitors, for her it is now feeling crazy because she's now got the master key. She knows exactly who's a traitor, she knows who's a faithful. Mina explained that Charlotte was acting normal, nothing about her changed at breakfast, and there was kind of no signs where she was given away that she was a traitor at all. And we found out that Jake and Lisa had come back to breakfast, which meant that Anna had been murdered the previous night. Charlotte said that Anna had already had her time, and Mina explained that she's no longer needed. I also think it's the fact that she rejected the invitation to become a traitor, so people know now that she's a faithful, or presume that she's a faithful, so they basically just had to get rid of her from the game. Leanne said that that was really sad, adding that Anne had been through hell in the game and back, and she was gunning to get those traitors out even more. Claudia came in and congratulated them all for getting rid of a traitor, but also let them know that Anna was the next faithful who was to fail as victim of the murder. And she said that in terms of the next mission, warning, not child's play. You saw Mina hugging Leanne, because obviously Leanne was quite upset that Anna had gone, and Leanne basically had a little chat with Leon, saying that he's been acting really different with her, and she's now very minimal in terms of the people that she trusts in the game. Joe was talking to Jake, and he said that people are now suspicious of Leon from the coffin situation, with Leanne whispering to Joe, saying she doesn't trust Leon, she just doesn't believe what he's saying about the whole becoming distant and why he's become distant. Lisa, Alex and Mina were having a conversation, with Lisa saying that Anna voted for Mina, and she accused Lisa, Alex, Dan and Linda. Obviously Dan and Linda are now out of the game, so potentially Mina, Lisa and Alex will be the next 3 targets, because that's who Anna had voted for as a faithful, so maybe she's on to one of them. So Lisa basically said, yeah, one of the 3 of us could be at trouble. Lisa also said that potentially the fire could come after her or Alex, and Alex said that the Traitors are a fan of stitch-ups and for people being unlucky, and he said at the round table he's going to stand up for what he believes in. Lisa had a quick whispering chat with Alex on the corridor, basically saying, I love you, I don't want to vote for you, just in case anything happens, I just wanted to say that you're one of my favourite people in the game. And she said it's usually quite hard to say goodbye to people, so she just wanted to kind of solidify that friendship she had with Alex. Charlotte had a conversation with Freddie and Francesca, basically saying that Anna was faithful and she potentially thinks that Leon and or Alexander could be traitors. And Freddie explained that Leon coming out of the coffin kind of looked a little bit staged. Charlotte said to the camera that she feels wrong stirring the pot, especially now that she knows who's faithful and who's not, and the fact that it's literally just her and Mina that are the naughty ones. She now has to do it because that's just obviously the role that she's kind of got into. Freddie explained that Alex had voted for Leanne rather than actually voting for Linda, so was he close to Linda? I'm not really sure. And Francesca said that apparently her, Charlotte or Joe could be easy targets in terms of people for the Traitors to get out of the game. Francesca also explained that she has a good connection with Charlotte, the fact that they're both vulnerable and the fact that, you know, they are both a little bit quieter. That obviously links the 2 of them together in terms of, you know, similar personalities, not clashing, and the fact that they obviously get on quite well. Leanne was having a conversation with Alex, Mina, Joe and Charlotte. I think there was the majority of those people were just kind of discussing about who they think the traitors were. Alex said he was going to have a stab in the dark about Leanne. Leanne said that she was going to have a lot to say, and Charlotte said she needed to think about the majority, kind of getting as many people on side to vote the same way as possible. Mina also explained that Leon, Alexander, Freddie and Alex were 4 people that were being looked at already, and she said potentially the 4 of them would be looked at and banished or murdered before people think about her again, but again she also has to be careful just in case her name is randomly brought up. In terms of the next mission, it was all about communication and teamwork. So there were 5 of them who were going to go to the woods, and there were 6 of them who were going to stay in the castle. Claudia also mentioned that those who were going to the woods, at least one of them would be able to win a shield. So obviously if they stayed in the castle, they've basically given up that luxury of being able to win a shield. So the 5 who decided to go to the shields, so the 5 who decided to go to the woods were Alexander, Jake, Joe, Francesca and Freddie, because Jake obviously said he has a big target on his back, especially after getting Linda out, the fact that, you know, he's got one of the traitors are going to want to get him back. And those in the castle, both the traitors, Mina, Charlotte, Leon and Leanne, Alex and Lisa. Claudia introduced the players to Martha, who is the speaking doll, and basically she says riddles backwards, and what the 5 had to do in the woods is go to the doll's house. What those had to do in those that went to the woods, what they had to do was go to the doll's house and find a doll that was saying a little children's riddle or children's rhyme, repeat the backwards wording, because obviously the doll was repeating it back to them backwards. They then had to repeat it to the other team, and then the other team had to repeat it to the gramophone. The gramophone could then reverse it so it was actually the right way around, and then they had to just guess what the riddle or rhyme was. There were 4 dolls to correctly guess in total, and each one they got the correct, they'd get an extra £2,500 added to their pot. Freddie explained that the house looked absolutely derelict. Francesca said Francesca gave the first noise to the other team, and Leanne basically was like, okay, can you just do a hubba jabba jabba down the gramophone to a couple of the others? So that was quite funny. Jake managed to see a little teddy bear, and I think on one of the dolls it said, you'll be lucky if you find me near the bear, or near Berry Bear, or Cuddly Bear, or something. So instead of actually looking for a doll, he went straight to the bear to try and find the shield. I think Francesca called over and said, well, hang on, that's not a doll, that's a bear. And I think Alexander also looked over, but neither of them actually saw whether he got the shield or not. They managed to get 3 of the doll rhymes correct, adding another 7,500 to their pot, and the shield was found, with Claudia saying you don't have to tell who got it, but you can obviously keep it to yourself. And Francesca looked straight over at Jake, with Jake kind of... And Jake was then in a truck with Francesca, Joe, and Freddie. And Jake basically said, obviously one of us has got the shield, but we don't know who it was. We have to just kind of keep that as our hidden story. He said it was actually me that got the shield, but he just didn't trust Alexander, which is why he didn't tell Alexander. I'm not sure if Freddie was still in that truck as well, or if Freddie was with Alexander. I'm not 100% sure, but at least Francesca and Joe know that Jake got the shield. So whether or not that works in their advantage or disadvantage, we won't find out. Jake said that he was suspicious of Alex not voting for Linda, and actually he ended up just randomly voting for Leanne. Fran said that Leanne wants to go for Leon, and Joe said that he is still suspicious on Leon. So you've kind of got a few names rolling around here. You've got Alexander because of the deathmatch situation. You've got Leon because of how he acted after the game. And then you've got Alex, just now people are all of a sudden starting to become suspicious of him. Alexander was talking about Jake's situation, saying that he was seeing Jake look through one of the bears, but he's not sure if he got what was in the bear. And Mina asked Francesca whether someone got the shield, with Francesca saying yes, but they're not going to reveal who it was. Leon was having a conversation with Francesca and Charlotte, with Leon saying that there could have been at least one traitor in that death match. He's now thinking about everybody in the game, and obviously the only other person left from that death match that is still in the game is Alexander, because obviously Fozia and Anna are now both out of the game. Mina was having a conversation with Joe, Francesca, Alex and Joe. Alex basically said that Linda was the only person who hadn't thrown another traitor under the bus, with Joe kind of coming back saying, well, hang on, how do you know that? Because we only have known of 2 traitors. It's almost like he said, out of all of the traitors, Linda's the only one that hasn't put any of the others under the bus, almost hinting that there's more than those 2. So I just think he phrased it wrong. I think he meant, out of those 2 traitors that have already gone, Linda didn't vote for Armani, and, you know, Linda probably didn't put up Anna as wanting to inherit her to be a traitor. It could have been somebody else's idea. So, yeah, he phrased that a little bit wrong. And, yeah, Joe said it was a strange comment. Joe and Jake had a quick conversation saying, did Alex slip up there? And Francesca said, yeah, there was a massive slip up. Leanne said she was feeling rubbish and she wants to call out Leon for his behaviour in the last 24 hours. Alex said he's probably going to get a lot of heat, and he usually knows about himself saying the wrong things, so that just is how he happens to just be. And Charlotte said that usually when she's at the round table, she's not happy to get rid of people, but she knows it has to be done, whereas now she's a traitor, she knows that she has to get rid of other people, and she's knowingly going to be voting for other faithfuls to leave the game. Joe decided to start the round table on this evening, saying about Alex, about his comment that he made in the kitchen, saying that Linda hadn't voted for any of the traitors we know about so far. Alex said that Joe actually didn't let him finish what his comment was, and Alex ended up having to butt in Joe to basically finish his point of basically saying, from the traitors that we know of so far, which was purely just Armani, Linda didn't vote for her, Linda didn't try and put her under the bus, she kind of just was voting for like random people or different people. Francesca also added that was a little bit of an odd comment, and then Mina also jumped in and said, yeah, it was a bit odd. Alex was then asked about who he thinks the traitors were, and he said that he still has his doubts about Freddie. And then Freddie came back and said, well, okay, fair enough, but you've had a half-baked theory about Leanne and then not followed up on it, with Alex trying to kind of like deflect off that, with Freddie saying, actually, I'm going to back myself because you've put my name into the round table, so obviously I'm going to back myself up and say that it's not me when it's not me. And then Jake also brought up the fact that Alex didn't vote for Linda, instead he just randomly decided to vote for Leanne. We also found out that Francesca had been told by Anna that Alex potentially could have been the traitor, and apparently she was told that 2 nights in a row, and all of the people that have thought that Alex was the traitor are actually now no longer in the game. So that's why Francesca brought up Alex's name, and it just happens to be a coincidence that they all happen to be faithful and that he just happens to have voted them out of the game, thinking they were also a traitor. Lisa said that her coming into this game, she's been thinking about things objectively, saying that Charlotte surprisingly has seemed to have grown in confidence. So where has that come from? Mina has a lot of weight on her shoulders, so whether that's as a faithful trying to prove herself, or whether it's as a traitor, the fact that it's difficult and stressful for her to obviously murder the faithfuls from the game. And then Leon's obviously been passionate about his family, his children, his wife, and obviously he could do anything for them, making him the perfect traitor, that he has to get rid of people and get people out of the game for him to be able to actually get through the game. So that was kind of where she went with her ideologies: Charlotte, Mina and Leon. Leanne said that she's upset, and obviously everyone knows about her change in relationship with Leon saying that he needs to think about who he's speaking to, especially having been coming out of that coffin challenge. He doesn't know who put him in that challenge in the first place, but then also having come out of it, he's also explained that there are 3 people in this game he just does not trust, or he trusts the least. So Alexander, because obviously he was in the death match, Alex because of what he's heard about him so far, and then Freddie because of the whole Maya and framing situation, which has now all of a sudden disappeared. Leon also said that people are now thinking that they can't trust him, or that he's becoming distant from them, when actually he's just trying to work out who he can and can't actually trust in the game. Joe also chimed in and said that he's also been suspicious of Leon, and obviously if they're wrong and if he gets it wrong again, they're going to lose another good faithful. And Leon basically just explained that he's just trying to help. He's just trying to help people find the traitors, and he's just trying to do what he can to help people do that. Charlotte explained about the coffin game, that Anna was shaken up, Alexander looked a little bit nervous, and that Leon didn't really look that scared, with Freddie chiming in saying that, yeah, Leon's reaction was just a little bit weird. And Leon said, do whatever you want, vote me out if you want, I know my truth. When it came to the votes, Lisa voted for Leon, Freddie voted for Alex, and Alex voted for Freddie. Charlotte voted for Leon, and then Jake, Alexander, Mina, Leanne, Leon, Fran and Joe all voted for Alex, meaning Alex was banished. He revealed, unfortunately, that he was a faithful, and just before he revealed this, Francesca said, I hope I haven't got this wrong, which obviously she did. And Joe said, you know, we keep making mistakes, we have to carry on, we just have to keep going. Charlotte said that she couldn't vote for Alex, purely because she just felt too bad. She knew he was going to get the votes to go out, so that's why she ended up voting for somebody else. So she ended up randomly just voting for Leon. So her and Lisa were the only 2 that voted for Leon. And then on the way out, Leanne basically whispered to Mina and Lisa, saying it's definitely Leon or Alexander. So again, Mina and Charlotte kind of off the radar here. Mina's probably giggling, thinking, oh god, they're going to go for another 2 boys who are, you know, not the traitors. But yeah, Leanne's kind of said it's going to be Leon or it's going to be Alexander. Jake basically said to Joe that was annoying. Lisa explained to Leon she couldn't vote for Alex because she knows it wasn't true. She knows he wasn't a traitor. And Leon asked who she had been told by in terms of, you know, who should be voting at Alex, and Leon said it was Francesca who was kind of, you know, getting people to vote for Alex to get Alex out, which again is now going to throw her under the bus, and she'll be the next faithful to go, and then it's all going to just get messy again. Jake said that he thinks Charlotte and Joe are both faithfuls, and he also explained to Lisa and Leon that Francesca is now, you know, having gone from under the radar to now being a prime suspect of being a traitor. Jake had a conversation with Fran, questioned her about the situation and about the round table, and Francesca said that she was thinking about Charlotte and Joe, and potentially Alexander as traitors or as faithfuls, and that she is such an obvious faithful. Why is she still in the game? Is it because they know she's faithful and, you know, it's going to be weird for them to murder her, or, you know, she won't be banished, or they want her through to the final or whatever? She's unsure why she's still in the game. Jake also says to the camera he's going to now be going down the Frankie train, probably thinking that she's a traitor, and again it'll either backfire on him and he'll end up getting himself knocked out, or they'll get Francesca out, it'll make him look guilty, but then they'll kind of have his back and go, well, you know what, you thought she was a traitor, and, you know,
you just happen to get it wrong. So yeah, Jake, Francesca, neither of them are safe. Obviously they've already got rid of Alex now. Alexander potentially, Leon potentially, Leanne's name's still been thrown around. Mina had a few people calling her name out, so yeah, let's just see what happens with that. Charlotte was talking to Mina and Alexander, saying that potentially Alexander or Leon could be the traitors, just purely because of the fact that it's going to be somebody in the other team, because obviously Charlotte, Mina and the other 4 were in the castle, so it's going to be somebody from the other team. And yeah, somebody on their team has obviously also got the shield. Charlotte was talking to Leanne and Freddie, saying that probably one of them is going to end up getting murdered. Freddie said that he thinks the traitor could either be Mina or Leon, which Charlotte, obviously as the other traitor, said, oh, this is quite good information, but she's not going to tell Mina. She's going to save that information for when she needs it, to say, hang on, actually I think Mina's a traitor, but also Freddie said, and actually also Leanne said. So it's kind of, yeah, keeping that ammunition or waiting for somebody else to jump on the Mina train for her to then go, well, actually, no, I also think that as well. And then she also said that, you know, Mina's probably thinking 3-4 steps ahead. Charlotte's got to be thinking 5-6 steps ahead. So yeah, I think Charlotte's really good in that respect, that she's not stupid. She knows she has to work with Mina and, you know, take a few more faithful out. But because now they're also getting so close to the end, she needs to think she needs to get Mina out before Mina ends up taking her out like they did with Armani and Linda. So yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting situation, that. Mina gave Leanne a little hug on the way out, and she basically said as a joke, me hugging you is not me attempting murder on you in the evening. And Leanne said Francesca cried obviously about the Alex situation, the fact that she left. So is she actually feeling guilt, or are her tears genuine? Mina also explained to Charlotte in the Traitors turret that both her and Charlotte seem to be relatively okay. Their names are not being thrown around. And Charlotte said that the only person that was mentioned in Mina's name was Lisa. And she said, yeah, the only problem that they have now is the fact that there's 2 separate groups. They have to be bold, they have to strike, and they have to get rid of somebody out of the game. So yeah, they said potentially Joe, just because everyone likes him, he's got a good personality and he brings a lot of energy to the game. Jake, because obviously he did work out who one of the traitors was, he's had his time here, and he's already questioned multiple times why he's still here. And for Lisa, the fact that she said quite a lot today, and she's kind of pinned on a few people in terms of who she thinks is a traitor, with Lisa thinking that Charlotte and Mina and, you know, potentially Alexander are the traitors. Then, you know, their names are being thrown under the bus already. In the end, we found out that it was either going to be Lisa, Jake or Joe that was going to be getting murdered. Lisa purely because of the fact that she said so much and she's overanalyzed everything, whether to help the other players or to help herself. Jake because of the whole Linda situation, but then you've got to remember Jake has the shield, so if they murder him, he will still come back for breakfast, and he'll probably know that they tried to murder him, or maybe he won't. And then the traitors will think, well, actually, it was Jake that had the shield. And they'll question why he didn't tell anyone, or who knew that he had the shield and things like that. And then for Joe, he's very smart. He is with it. So actually, he would be the perfect one to murder, just because he's starting to get involved in so many of the different groups. But then if they get rid of Joe, who's not really talking to Joe, then it makes them look suspicious. So yeah, Joe would probably be the best one here, because Lisa's on it, over-analysing things. Yeah, she's not really part of a group. Jake, obviously, already knows he's quite good at sussing out the traitors, but with Joe, he's starting to analyse things. So I would say all 3 of them have to go at some point, but it's which order do you get rid of them? Do you get rid of Joe now, or do you get rid of Lisa, or do they try and get rid of Jake? Not sure how that's going to happen. And yeah, Charlotte basically analysed the entire of those 3, why they should and shouldn't keep them in the game, and she said that she's admired Charlotte from afar. And she kind of, yeah, she basically said to Charlotte, look, it's almost like you've made out you don't know what being a traitor's like, and then you've absolutely smashed it. With Charlotte saying that obviously the aim is to get rid of as many faithful as, the aim is to basically get rid of as many faithfuls as possible, but eventually they're going to have to give blood, and they're going to have to get rid of a traitor eventually. And she said it's not going to be her, meaning i.e. she's going to get Mina before Mina gets hers. So that is the end of episode 8. It's getting really, really bad and difficult and, you know, stressful now, because, like I said, we're nearly at the end. I've absolutely loved this series, as I do with every series of the Traitors. I overanalyse it like I always do, but that's just what you have to do. You have to think all of the players in the game think all of the players are guilty until they're proven otherwise, that actually this person's 100% a faithful. But then if you lose that faithful, do you have another faithful friend that you can be friends with? Like, you can't just be friends with one person and hope to get to the end. You need to talk to everyone, suss everyone out, or just avoid the people that are the traitors, or, you know, be friends with the traitors but then help the traitors at the same time. Like, if you can kind of prove that you can help the traitors but also be far enough away from them that you can get them eventually out, it's just working out that balance. So yeah, either Linda, Jake or Joe will be murdered next. Like I said, Linda's been over analysing, Joe's been analysing a lot, and Jake has already proven himself as a traitor finder. So let's see what happens in episode 9, and until then, thank you for watching and goodbye.